In today's world, technology is so prominent that it's easy for us to forget that it wasn't long ago when the internet didn't even exist. With this new advancement in our world, we soon began to create platforms to interact with each other. This came as no surprise. It is in our nature as human beings to crave social interaction. The rise of social networking sites such as Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter have sparked more ways to satisfy our social needs. And today, computers are in just about every home, as well as most schools, giving kids access to technology they've never had before. While this is a useful tool to help us grow and learn, it also brings many dangers. With this type of social interaction, there is a force that can affect not only us and those we hold close, but millions across the world: cyberbullying. Bullying certainly isn't something new, but it has changed over the years. As young children, bullying stops when the bell rings or when we go home at the end of the day. But online, bullies aren't confined to a playground or a classroom. Young people across the world are being tormented, threatened, harassed, embarrassed, or otherwise targeted through email, instant messaging, and social media. No walls or environment protect from its harmful effects because teens are online all the time. Cyberbullying is 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. It can happen anytime, anywhere, leaving cyberbullying victims with no place they can feel safe. As I thought about what I wanted to share with you tonight, I came across 3 stories that really resonated with me. Like myself, they were teenagers. However, they had their life cut short due to the torment they received online. Ryan Halligan was a 13-year-old student in Vermont who committed suicide after a schoolmate claimed she had a crush on him, only to share anything and everything he had sent her with the rest of the school. I was heartbroken. How could a boy younger than myself feel that the only way out was to take his own life? He never got the opportunity to go to college or to achieve his dreams. But the sad truth is that Ryan was only one of a countless many. Jessica Logan was an 18-year-old senior in Vermont who hanged herself after her private pictures were sent to hundreds of students in at least 7 different high schools by her former boyfriend. Megan Meyer hanged herself 3 weeks before it would have been her 14th birthday due to cruel and hurtful messages that sent her online. These teens were told that the world would be better off without them. And according to the Cyberbullying Research Center, 52% of young people report being cyberbullied. Cyberbullying isn't some insignificant problem experienced by few. It is widespread, and many of us are aware of it. However, what many of us fail to realize is that the root of the problem begins the behavior of children and teens using social media. How do we evaluate what we're saying online and how we're saying it? Oftentimes, we don't. As a teen in today's society, I know that most of us have never been taught to think before we type. As Amy Jo Martin, an American author and speaker, once said, just as we teach our children how to ride a bike, we must also teach them how to navigate through social media and make the right moves to help them. We can prevent many debacles if we're educated. So, before posting something online, we need to ask ourselves about the consequences of our actions. What will happen if we hit send? If we post that tweet or Instagram that picture? If we asked ourselves these questions, would Ryan, Jessica, and Megan still be alive today? Although cyberbullying did not happen to me directly, it did have a direct impact on me. Last year, through volunteering at a kids' summer camp, I met a young girl who was being cyberbullied. At camp, she was always so happy. She always had a smile on her face. And then one day, she told me that the reason she loves coming to camp so much was because she wasn't bullied like she was both at school and online. She was just 10 years old, right out of 5th grade, and people were already making fun of her weight and her clothes. I couldn't even imagine being in her situation. And in most cases, cyberbullying only gets worse. What would happen when she went on to middle school and to high school? Life is much too precious to have to suffer through feeling inadequate and worthless. And that's what sparked my thinking. Did her cyberbullies even stop to think about how their words and actions would affect her? Online, we are cloaked behind a screen. Because social media is so faceless, teens are free to say and do whatever without really thinking about it. We forget to ask ourselves, is this something we would say in person? Because if we wouldn't say it in person, why are we saying it online? After we post something, it's easy to hit delete, but it isn't really gone. Deleting harassing and inappropriate text, messages, and pictures doesn't change anything after they've already been posted or sent. Nothing disappears off the internet. Every picture, every word, every letter leaves a digital footprint. Even if you delete a post, it's still there, imprinted in the minds of everyone who has seen it. and that digital footprint can lead to things we don't expect. Before posting something online, we can also look at Jack Canfield's E plus R equals O, or event plus response equals outcome. Regardless of the event in place, our response determines the outcome of the situation. Very rarely do we take the time to slow down, pause, and think about what we're saying. So if we ever find ourselves about to post something mean or untrue on social media, but take even an extra minute to reevaluate our response, then we can produce a fair and positive outcome rather than a hurtful and negative one. We all need to take ownership of cyberbullying. We cannot simply expect a parent to make sure his or her child does not turn into a cyberbully or a victim. We created cyberbullying, so it's up to us to end it. We can all spark change and work towards ending cyberbullying by first making it our job to set boundaries. We need to ask ourselves tough questions by looking at the bigger picture of how it'll affect ourselves and the ones around us. Whoever you're talking to, if you know them, if you don't know them, your words have such a big impact. The messages we post are so important. Those few seconds you decide whether or not you should hit post, those few seconds can mean so much in the future. Online, we need to use words that are encouraging, words that will push people forward to believe in themselves and to know that they are worth it, words that will take a step towards deleting cyberbullying. Thank you.